For the second week in a row, I have the pleasure to review a Gentle Giant limited statue inspired by Ralph McQuarrie's concept arts. This week, it is about the most famous movie villain of all time, Darth Vader. My name is Dominic, aka Lord Doom, and you're watching Star Wars Artefacts. This statue is part of the premiere collection from Diamond Select Toys. It was a gift offered to members of the Premier Guild for 2022. For this reason, it is limited to an edition of 500 pieces. At the time, it was sold for $200 US, but since it is no longer available, you'll have to turn to the secondary markets. That said, expect to pay a little bit more than its original price. Are you ready? Punch it, Chewie! On the front of the box, there is an image of the statue, and below it, we can read Darth Vader Concept 1/7 scale statue. At the top, there is a gray stripe on which it is written Premier Guild Gift 2022. On the sides, there are two different images of the statue. On the back, we have the Star Wars logo, and in the middle, there is a close-up of the statue with the two options for the head. The little paragraph at the bottom is identical to the one on the box of the Darth Vader half-scale bust that I already reviewed. Feel free to click on the link on the upper right corner of your screen if you are curious. Before we take a closer look at the statue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and smash that like button to help us continue our work. You can also follow us on the main social media at SW Artefacts. When we reach 2,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, 2 of you will get the chance to win one of those 2 half-scale busts from Gentle Giant Limited. As it is the case for the statues of this series, it is made of resin. It is 11.5 inches tall if we include the base. The latter has a width of 6 inches by 6 inches. However, if we include the lightsaber blade, the statue has a depth of 8.5 inches. It weighs about 3 pounds. The statue comes in 4 separate pieces. As for the Stormtrooper statue, the statue is already attached to the base. We also have 2 different heads and a light blue translucent lightsaber blade. Let's start with the 2 included helmet versions. On this version, the dome of the helmet is more rounded. The brim is also very short. The helmet's brows are very low and the visor is thin. As for the mouthpiece, it is short and rounded. Thanks to this McQuarrie illustration, this version is more popular. On the second version of the helmet, the dome is much larger and the brim is longer. The helmet's brows are higher and the visor is wider. As for the mouthpiece, it is also wider and more angular. It is without a doubt closer to the final version of the helmet and the one that we saw in the Rebels animated series. If you have watched last week's review, you know that I was fortunate enough to interview Brian Muir. Not only is he the sculptor of the Stormtrooper armor, but he is also the sculptor of the Darth Vader helmet. Mr. Muir worked on several movies such as Aliens, Indiana Jones, James Bond, and many other blockbuster movies, and was very generous with us. I strongly recommend you to click on the link in the upper right corner of this video to watch our interview with this living legend. The suit is very representative of the concept arts and is also very close to the final version. The straps holding the chest box were removed and many buttons were ultimately added. The striped fabric used for his tunic is not very far from the movie version. We can see the same thing for the belt. The buckle is not the same color, and the two boxes located on each side ended up being more detailed with buttons and lights. The blaster located on his right hip was eventually removed. After all, who needs a blaster when you're a Sith Lord as powerful as Vader? His lustered boots show a few small differences, but the general idea from the concept was kept. On his arms, the triangular pauldrons ended up being more rounded, and the gloves were modified and changed for longer ones. The lightsaber clearly went through significant modifications, and the blade went from light blue to red. Finally, the cape is well texturized, has many wrinkles, and seems to be floating in the air. The base is an imitation of the Death Star's surface. It is extremely well detailed and texturized. We almost have the impression to own a portion of the maquette used at the ILM studios when they shot the trench battle for Episode 4. Below the base, you will find the copyright, the name of the manufacturer, and the location where it was made. You will also see the number of the piece. In this case, I have number 5. Each statue of the series is accompanied with a certificate of authenticity. On the certificate, we see once more the number of the piece. Placed next to the Stormtrooper statue, we can recreate what was at the origin of the imaginary of an entire generation. The Ralph McQuarrie's concept arts will always have a special place in the heart of Star Wars fans. After all, it is thanks to his drawings that the very vast majority of the universe's aesthetics look as it is even to this day. A third concept statue with the looks of C-3PO was made by Gentle Giant Limited, and I hope that one day I will get the opportunity to review the statue for you guys. Meanwhile, I would like to thank Gentle Giant Limited for sending me this statue for review purposes. What do you think of this statue? Which helmet version do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section. If you had a great time watching this video, please consider giving us a super thanks, as this will allow us to continue offering you new content on a regular basis. I'll see you soon for another review, and until then, may the Force be with you always.